Part 3, the test. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the continuation of Part 2, analysis on the symbolism of the experience I relayed on May 3rd, 2019, entitled Saturday Night After Midnight, a must watch. The test. The most overwhelming surprise in the experience was the test. Nowhere in my wildest imagination would I have concurred that dramatic filtering, considering the efforts demonstrated towards us for the flight. Angels came and gathered us, clothed us, gave us the appropriate bodies, organized the path, and set us on the flight. Then, deep within the flight, the test of loyalty presented itself. My experience, being singled out, seems also a flat character for the whole, re-emphasizing the importance of holy living and readiness as a form of culture. Two biblical examples surface in my mind, alluding to the importance of loyalty to the call of transparency and being an overcomer. First, Abraham's relationship with God demonstrates a gradual lift towards the mark of the high calling to commitment and faith. God said to Abraham, "Now I know that you fear me." After Abraham obeyed the command to sacrifice his son Isaac as a burnt offering, the very thing that God had warned Israel not to do: sacrifice your children in the fire. Abraham could have argued, but he surrendered his will in obedience to the superior wisdom of God. His test was unconventional to the theology of monotheism, worship of one true God. But Abraham had to prove his loyalty in his heart between the Son and God. He had to come up higher and learn greater lessons that had wider and more far-reaching implications for the salvation of the children of mankind. He obeyed God, and God provided a lamb, which symbolized Jesus, the lamb slain from the foundation for the salvation of the world. Secondly, Jacob portrays an overcomer. Having sent away everyone and everything from his presence, he wrestled with God and the angel over the night until daybreak by the river, passing the test, and subsequently having a name change from Jacob the deceiver to Israel the overcomer. God is in charge of trouble. The scant articles in the boathouse and the house itself, allowing for bare survival needs, as well as the fact that appropriate clothing was given for the flight, and the angels who were in charge of everything, all my efforts being in vain, seem to indicate that we should not worry about the cares of the life and our security, even in trouble. For Jesus entreats in Matthew 6:25-30 and chapter 10, comforting us that we should not fear to do his will, for the very hairs of our heads are numbered. Verse 10 of chapter 10. Daniel 12 verse 1 begins with the affirmation that Michael, the great prince, will stand up to deliver his people in the impending trouble. Jesus is coming again, not as the weakling that Satan and his agents satirically portrayed him to be, so much so that they deceive themselves and others that they have power to reorganize heaven and command mankind on earth to their own whims and fancies. The mission of Jesus must still be proclaimed. Other sheep have I, which are not of this fold, Jesus says. Them also I must bring in. I realized two things from the experience in this command. One, the attack on the boardhouse, containing the scant bit of members, can be looked at as a flat character representing the Seventh-day Adventist Church having the commandments and the testimony of Jesus for the world. Satan hates them and plots together with his agents to kill them, eradicating them from the face of the earth publicly. But angels will be commissioned to the aid. 2. The crowd that kept increasing on the outside, which no one knew where they came from, seemed to indicate that volumes of people will follow after the truth as given in the Bible and make their stand with the Seventh-day Adventist Church when trouble and testing comes. But they may not come to the forefront before that. The prophet attests to such in relation to the condition of the church. Notice, angels accompanied that group too under the tree. The call. Seventh-day Adventist Church must continue to share the truth, having a great love and urgency for the salvation of souls, pulling them from the pit of hell. But we must make sure that our lives are fully washed in the blood of the Lamb. Seemingly, obedience to the commandments of God will be the test to gather the people. The prophet tells us that the Sabbath command, which is the answer to all the global crisis issues being talked about, will be the test. Satan, the deceiver's Sabbath, is Sunday, while God, the Creator and Redeemer's Sabbath, is Saturday. Remember, however, a final test of loyalty to Jesus seems to come while on the way in flight. The ability to pass the test will seemingly depend on one's built-up experience as memory to rely on. Ladies and gentlemen, the Holy Spirit says, there is a stranger at the door. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Let decisions be made on the Bible and the Bible alone. Ladies and gentlemen, let your decisions to open the door be made on the Bible and the Bible alone.